Hi everybody. I wanted to show you all a quick tour of the interior of my Ram truck. Basically, this vehicle is mostly stock for now. I'm doing little mods here and there. As you may know from previous videos, I used to have a Jeep Wrangler JK, and transitioning from that to this vehicle, I've noticed that mounting availability for accessories such as cell phone holders, navigation, camera mounts, things like that are really hard to find. There is not much of an aftermarket for these vehicles, for these kind of accessories. So I've improvised with what I could. Let's start here on the A pillar. I have a little multi-tool I use. Basically it's a Leatherman. I've had this for many years and many different vehicles, and this thing has been really handy for situations where you just need a precise tool. As far as my cell phone, I prefer to keep it towards the left side of my steering wheel. This is all pretty much Ram mounts. I will include links to the parts I used if any of you are interested. If you can see, hopefully, this I believe is a handlebar mount, and I've used it to attach to this A pillar because it's really sturdy. This grab handle bolts right to the A pillar and right to the metal, so this is a really sturdy setup for telephones. I've had to come up with these double jointed mounts to be able to position it where it doesn't interfere with the turn signal stalk or steering wheel as I'm driving. I found this a good position for basically no blind spots, blocking my visibility to the outside mirror. I can see any messages, not that I use my phone when I'm driving, but I just want to be able to be brought to anything that needs my attention as soon as possible. Moving along, this is just a regular Garmin navigation. I've used GoPro suction cup mounts to mount it to the windshield. I've noticed these mounts are really sturdy, and I have two of these mounts, one here on the base of the windshield and one in the middle. The middle one I use, as you can see, a GoPro. It's ready to mount the GoPro case. I've always used that for a dash cam and in-car video. I found it meets my needs. There are many other cameras out there. This is just something I've always had, and I like to use it anywhere I go, whether it's handheld, as I'm using right now, or I can just take it off and stick it to a handle, and just anywhere I go, it comes with me. It's a work in progress, this vehicle, so there's nuts and bolts all over the place. Basically, this navigation is an Android-based tablet. I believe it's a 10-inch, and I brainstormed about this for a while, where I can mount everything without blocking my visibility. You're seeing right now what I'm seeing from eye level, so hopefully you can see this tablet doesn't interfere with my vision to the outside, hardly any. Maybe a little bit on the top, but that's not really much. My eye level is a lot higher, so this doesn't bother me. To mount it, again, I've went with Ram mounts. I've had a lot of different mounts over the years, and I've noticed the Ram mounts are pretty much the only ones that stand up to vibrations and not causing devices such as this tablet to sag down, and you always have to reposition them and fiddle with them. Basically, these Ram mounts are, let me zoom in here to the cell phone mount, they're all the same type. It's basically a ball that's rubber vulcanized, and these mounts grip the balls, and you can pretty much set it to any viewing angle. This is where I keep my tablet, so I can pretty much see it, or my passengers or anybody in the back seat can see where we're going. I'm powering it with an auxiliary battery setup, and this is permanently plugged in. The wiring isn't finished, but basically it needs to have power all the time because this draws a lot of electricity. And my auxiliary battery, I'll go into that further when the weather gets a little bit nicer. I have to go underneath the vehicle. As I also said in previous videos, I relocated the spare tire from underneath to the rear of the vehicle with a swing out tire carrier, and I housed my auxiliary battery as well as a second starting battery. I have two now underneath for weight distribution and just to not get in the way. I've made a custom mount for that, and I'll show you guys that later. It's really neat. As far as mounting this tablet with the RAM mounts, I did have to drill into the bezel. This is the plastic bezel for the radio, or entertainment unit as it could be called. It's basically this plastic that goes around the radio and the heater controls and the vents. It wasn't too difficult. There are two screws, which I'm going to be putting back very soon. Two screws that bolt it down, and then it's just clips that you have to pull back on this whole assembly. And I've noticed that this basically was the sturdiest place where I can mount something as big and heavy as a tablet. It's got a weight to it, because as well as the mounting bracket I made. So I've had no issues ever since of vibrations or sagging or this bezel coming loose. It's really sturdy. It's held on with many clips. Once this pops in, it's gonna hold this tablet, no problems. Moving along, I have a dash mat I use on my dash just to keep it a little bit more to my liking. This truck is plasticky, as pretty much all trucks are. I just like this setup better, especially moving loose objects such as your cell phone. You can stick it on there and it's not going to move around. There's a lot of friction for little knickknacks or keys or anything you want to throw up there. This is a tiny solar panel. It's plugged into the auxiliary battery, and it does charge a couple of watts on good days when it's really sunny. So those batteries are always topped up, even though this vehicle does sit for time to time. On the passenger side, I also have accessories mounted to the A-pillar. This is, I believe, a construction pouch I got a while ago as a gift, and I found it really handy to store all kinds of loose little things, such as tire pressure sensors, books, pouches, you name it, any kind of a thing. Flashlight I also have up there. That's pretty much a permanent setup for me. I've really brainstormed about this, where to put accessories, because I don't want it to get in my way. This baby seat, by the way, it's not here. I don't ride with children in the front. This is just because I'm working on the back as well, which I'll get into another day. There's going to be a subwoofer setup, custom made underneath the seat. I'm going to be making my own instead of buying one. I can make those no problem out of wood, plywood, glue, carpet. This is just here for my little boy, because I just need room in the back right now. In the middle, this is a 6-passenger vehicle. That means it's got a bench seat in the front, and I usually don't have passengers riding here all the time, so I fold the middle part down and I keep a refrigerator here. This is a proper compressor refrigerator. I'll be doing reviews about this. I have 3 of these actually. This is the smallest one, and I have a camper I use in the summer with my family, and I have a larger one than this and an even larger one. I use those for one refrigerator and one freezer. This doesn't draw a lot of amps, and this is also connected full-time to the auxiliary battery in good weather, and for days and days this will not discharge the battery. So far so good. Beyond that, that's it for now, I guess. This is just a short overview of my interior setup. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll go into details specifically about individual items you have any questions about. Oh, one more thing while I'm here. This is a scan gauge. This is basically an OBD2 monitor that plugs into the diagnostic port, and it reads data from the ECU. I use it to monitor temperatures, knock, anything like that. I can go out and scroll through many different parameters. If something is happening, I can I can pull out engine codes. A useful little tool. Okay, thanks for watching. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. That's it for now. Bye.